Hello, everyone. Can you hear me and see me well? Perfect. Okay. So we are online. We are live. You got the link here within chat. So please share that with your parents, although I already... Can you hear me and see me well? Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, so you've heard actually what's going on YouTube at the moment. Your parents will join 2:30. I've sent them an email, so you can just confirm with them to see whether they received that. If not, you can share the link that I've sent with you in a chat. Are you all formally dressed? I see Grace, I see Eamon, Chloe. You are. Oh, perfect. Okay, guys. So let's first check whether everything is fine with logistics. So let's see, Grace, where you will be standing. And let's see if we can see you clearly, hear you well. Perfect. And yeah, I just need audio check.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes. Okay, Eamon, the floor is yours. Yeah, I need to see your hands. Don't forget, it's important for you to present with hand gestures. Can you grab your note cards? Perfect. Okay, can you position your camera a little bit down and then move away from it? Like we practiced yesterday. Okay. Can you now hold your note cards and show me how you would be presenting? Okay, perfect. So remember that position. That will be your position for speaking. You can even bring the chair there. So sit there and just stand up when the refutation time comes. Can you just say something?
Testing.
Perfect. Okay. Chloe, let's check if everything is okay with your settings. Okay, is there any chance that camera could go a little bit down? That's perfect. Okay, just remember the spots. Yeah, Chloe, I need your audio check.
Hello?
Yes, perfect. Okay, guys, so this is what you will be doing now. Grab your note cards and practice presenting the speech that you feel needs most improvement. And for Eamon, that would be refutation speech, okay? So I will be observing your nonverbals and you will be practicing on your end with your mics muted, okay? Eamon, let's do more hand gestures. Yeah, the other hand that's not holding. Yeah, perfect. Eamon, let's practice one more time.
Just getting my note card sorted.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's do the distracting mode. So let's unmute your mics and continue so that we can improve projection. Eamon, just unmute, please. Perfect. Let's continue.
Imagine that you are extremely
Creating human-animal hybrids
your
can be
heart
used
is on
for
the verge of
research
stopping, and you're
to
tuning
allow
between
people
life
to
and
learn
death.
more about the human body, diseases, and drugs. Using human-animal chimeras as a source of organ transplants has not even been shown to work.
Herpes or bird woman and the
Although
sentinel.
human cells have been planted in animals, they've not yet yielded useful results.
Wild fantasies
Based on groundbreaking research at the University of California, Davis, first ever creation of organisms that were part human and part large animal represents a huge and hopeful first step in the quest to grow human organs for transplant.
complicate legal issues,
But that goal remains out of reach.
preserving the lives of those human organ transplants.
In her second argument, my opponent states that using human-animal chimeras as drug testing is more effective and accurate. However, there are more efficient ways to do so.
Member at the Institute of
Because in addition to being costly, time-consuming, and ethically questionable, data from animals frequently fail to predict results obtained in human clinical trials.
But human animal hybrids can be a solution to this problem. As stated in an animal article written by
According to the Nature Review Genetics article published in March of 2022, organ-on-a-chip microfluidic culture devices represent one of the recent successes in the search for mitral humans micropsychological systems that can encapsulate organ-level and even organism-level function. By coupling two or more organ chips, human body-on-chips multi-organ systems can be created that mimic whole-body psychology as well as drug distribution and disposition. Invention of stem cell technology have enabled sourcing of patient-specific stem cells that can now be integrated and differentiated within organ chips to create patient-specific preclinical models. In my opponent's third argument, she states that creating human-animal hybrids can be used for
Eamon, hand
research purposes to allow
gestures.
people to learn more about the human body, diseases, and drugs. However, AI is more efficient without raising multiple ethical and legal concerns. At the moment, AI has successfully been used to detect sepsis and provide information about hypertension. According to Cleveland Clinic innovations from 2022, using AI algorithms can detect several key sepsis risk factors in real time by monitoring patients' electronic medical records as physicians input information. Flagging high-risk patients can help facilitate early intervention, which can improve outcomes, lower healthcare costs, and save lives. Also, using machine learning, a type of AI, physicians are able to better select more efficient medications, increase combinations and dosages to improve control of hypertension. Dear Judge, I hope I prove to you that there are better, more ethical, and more recent innovations for resolving organ treatment, drug testing, and prediction purposes. This is why I urge you to be affirmed. Thank you.
Animal hybrids should not be created because they undermine species integrity and human identity, further complicate legal definitions, and require for the controversial destruction of human embryos.
Okay.
General public be less vetted and therefore of less quality. And furthermore, patients embryos from this manner and
What?
Okay, let me read through my questions real quick.
earning their own embryos.
What is the duration of the transplant?
The original chimera.
What is the duration of the, what is the source of the people that died during the human transplant?
These human animal chimeras.
And why is the transplant tested on
That
mice?
is why you should vote for Khan. Thank you.
Overall, because they can help save many lives through organ transplants, contribute to the development of medicines that are more potent and have fewer side effects, and enable research in the human body, diseases, and medications, human and animal chimeras are far more advantageous than they are disadvantageous. So I urge you to vote for pro.
Okay, wonderful job, everyone. So we have 3 minutes till final award ceremony and showcase debates. So first thing to do, check if you have a chewing gum. If you do have a chewing gum in your mouth, just take it out. Second thing, make sure you have a glass of water beside you. If not, run and grab it. Because stage fright might, do the thing with throat muscles. Iman, do you have a glass of water beside you? Go and grab one. Okay, you did some marvelous job. I'm sure everything will be perfectly fine and your parents will enjoy your presentations. Okay, so we're all equipped with everything we need, right? Iman, just a reminder, hand gestures, prepare your note cards, so hold them all together. You can number them like 1, 2, 3, just to be sure you're not mixing them. And
Sure.
yes, make eye contact. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you can now sit down and we have 2 minutes left. So you all know how great you were so far. And you know that some great things will happen for you in the future in this field. So whether it's STEM presentation, mock trial, whether it's debate, it's just on you to decide not to abandon this skill that you've developed. Actually, skills, so many skills. So don't forget there was collaboration. You did great job with that. You did great job with communication. You did great job with critical thinking, creative thinking, and fast thinking. And as any skill, these skills need to be practiced over and over again. So continue with that. I will open the presentation. And we are about to start. Is everyone ready? Show me thumbs up if that's the case. Okay, perfect. So, welcome, dear parents. Welcome to our award ceremony and showcase debates. My name is Bojana Golubovic, or Coach Boka, and I'm pleased to host this event. On behalf of Capital Debate, I heartily welcome all of you present. It is my great honor and pleasure to appreciate and reward the hard work and the performance of our students who have made me all so proud. So, welcome to award ceremony. And this is the STEM Communication Camp Award Ceremony. Look at these beautiful students here, all happy, knowing that this is the last day of the camp, right? Okay, just joking. I'm sure that they truly enjoyed all the challenges that were in front of them throughout these 2 weeks. So I will just shortly go over what we've done so far, and I'm sure that you are all aware of every step that we've taken on our journey. So during the first week, students had a task to come up with highly engaging and informative STEM speech. So they learned how to structure their thoughts they learned how to develop the arguments, and they learned how to do research analysis. So they came up with a few highly interesting topics. The first one that was presented by Grace actually advocated for mandatory programming classes in K-12 education. The one presented by Chloe actually questioned whether we should make robots that should resemble humans. And finally, the last but not the least, the one presented by Eamon actually questioned the applications of SQL today. And they did their job. They managed to successfully not only write their STEM informative speeches, but present with brilliant public speaking skills. And then we started a second week, again, writing, researching, thinking creatively and critically, how to, first of all, formulate the debate topic that is connected to science field, and then how to develop arguments. So the second week was all about debate, and this is what you will listen to today throughout through our showcase debates. The topic will be presented to you soon, but it was about human-animal hybrid. So should we continue with that kind of exploration, or should scientists just stop with doing that? That was the topic of their choice, and you will see what kind of great arguments they have developed. So just one more information. I will be leading you through showcase debate process, so you will learn more about the parts of debate your children learned so far. And I would just like to confirm that all the skills that were supposed to be learned and adopted were. So collaboration, critical thinking, creative thinking, communication skills. So let's start with our award ceremony. So the first one to congratulate for excellence and great engagement and performance will be Eamon Bhattacharjee. Congratulations, Eamon. So Eamon did a great job in a sense that he improved a lot starting from the first day of camp. He willingly participated in the activities, and not only that he was engaged, but he successfully developed the arguments for his STEM informative speech that finalized during the first week, and he improved public speaking skills, and finally did a great refutation speech during the second week. So he was on con side, and his partner in con crime was Grace. Thank you, Eamon, for joining Capital Debate STEM Communication Camp. And now, Grace. Grace Fang. Congratulations, Grace. I must say that Grace is a huge riddle for me, in a sense that she won every Scribble.io game that we played, and we've played so many of those games throughout 2 weeks. So congratulations on that, Grace. First of all. Second of all, I would like to announce that Grace was our impromptu speech tournament winner. And I would just like to say that her presentation skills, especially the ones in the area of pathos, so passionate presentation, have improved tremendously. And I'm so proud of your achievements, Grace. Great job. Thank you so much for participating in STEM Communication Camp. And last but not least, Chloe Wang. Great job, Chloe. And I would like to officially announce that Chloe is our debate winner. So she actually won the debate I was telling you about, and she did that as a judge. I would like to explain that she did that thanks to, first of all, her critical thinking skills. Second of all, she did a great job on structuring and supporting her arguments. Third, she did great refutation, great strategical thinking within cross-examination. And finally, she finalized the debate with wonderful closing speech. So great job, Chloe. Thank you for joining our STEM communication camp. So it is time for our showcase debate. And dear parents, I would like to introduce Chloe on pro side and Grace and Eamon on con side. As I previously mentioned, our topic is human-animal hybrid brings more good than harm. So let us watch this debate, and I would like to first of all announce the first speech that will happen. The first speech will be given by pro speaker, so Chloe, and it will be followed by cross-examination. The cross-examination is actually one part of the debate process where opponent asks questions about the opening speech. And from the con side, we will be hearing Eamon asking questions for Chloe. And then we will move to con's opening speech that will be presented by Grace and then questioned by Chloe. So let us enjoy the first part of the debate, and then I will explain what follows this first part. So Chloe, the floor is yours.
Imagine that you are extremely ill. Your heart is on the verge of stopping and you're teetering between life and death. Doctors tell you that you have significant heart failure and your only option is to get a heart transplant. However, you find out that there are several thousand people on the waiting list in front of you on the national transplant waiting list. So the only thing you can do is wait. And your hope starts to diminish until you find out about xenotransplants, which is transplanting animal organs into a human body. Due to the numerous advantages of utilizing human-animal hybrids for organ transplantation, drug testing, and research, they ultimately do more good than harm. Using human-animal chimeras as a source for organ transplants has many benefits. These include preserving the lives of those who are in need of organ transplants, reducing health risks, and lowering costs in the long run. According to the Health Resources and Services Administration, there are currently about 106,000 people on the national waiting list. However, 17 people die each day waiting for an organ. Clearly, the number of human donors and organ transplants are not enough to save all those people that die, but human-animal hybrids could be the solution to this problem. As stated in an article written by researchers from the affiliated Jiangyin Hospital with Nanjing Medical University, using animals as biological incubators for human organs has several benefits. Animals are plentiful and ready to use and can allow the patient and the doctor to be well prepared before the transplantation. And the personally tailored organ derived from the patient's stem cells may theoretically minimize the risk of immune rejection. Furthermore, data suggests that transplantation is most economical treatment for organ failure. Therefore, implementing human-animal chimeras into the organ transplant system would be highly advantageous for those on the waiting list, as it would not only save their lives, but also lower the risk of organ rejection and save money in the long run. Using human-animal chimeras for drug testing is more effective and accurate. Interspecies develop differences in drug metabolism, produce qualitative and quantitative differences between their drug metabolites. And several researchers from Stanford University conducted a study in which they developed chimeric mice where the mouse liver is replaced by human liver cells or tissue-engineered human liver. And they tested clemizole, a drug in clinical development for the treatment of hepatitis C virus infection. Scientists found that the mice liver was successfully able to predict the human drug metabolism and drug-to-drug interaction. And this indicates that it is likely that the use of chimeric mice could improve the quality of preclinical drug assessment. And the same concept can be applied to other animals, drugs, and organs. And drugs will thus be more effective and have fewer adverse effects on people since the drug testing will be more precise. Creating human-animal hybrids can be used for research, purposes to allow people to learn more about the human body, diseases, and drugs. According to Martin Parrott, professor and former program leader of Stem Cells Australia at the University of Melbourne, the use of pluripotent stem cells in the human-animal chimeras might facilitate the efficient production of mice with human blood cells, such as or to other tissues such as liver or heart, and on a larger scale. This would really enhance our ability to study the development of diseases and to develop new drugs to treat them. Furthermore, several researchers from the University of Nevada stated that human hematopoietic stem cells transplanted into two fetuses were capable of forming functional human liver cells, and they suggested to use such a chimeric model to treat genetic diseases in fetuses or newborns where liver cells are deficient. Therefore, human-animal chimeras can help us humans advance as a species, especially in the medical field, which will lead to many lives being saved. Overall, because it can help us save many lives through organ transplants, contribute to the development of medicines that are more potent and have fewer side effects, and enable research into the human body and diseases and medications, human-animal chimeras are far more advantageous than they are disadvantageous. Therefore, I urge you to vote for pro.
Thank you very much, Chloe. So I would like to invite Iman now to question Chloe's opening speech. Iman, you have 2 minutes to do that.
Wow, Chloe, that was an amazing speech you had there for the opening, but I got some backups for you. All right, so how long did it take for the transplant to go through the humans, and what was the duration?
It can take around a few hours to 10 or 20 hours, depending on the situation.
Okay, and what is the source of the people that died?
That was taken from the official organ donor website with all of the stats.
And why were these transplants tested on mice?
They were tested on mice because drug testing is usually on mice or rats. And in this case, they just used mice and they replaced their liver so that it could represent a human liver.
Yeah, and would stem cells impact other people's actions in this process?
Well, stem cells, if you were to take a stem cells and put them into an animal, and allow the organ to develop, or it's the same as a human's, then you could use that organ to transplant it into a patient where they need that organ, to live, and it could potentially save their life.
That's all for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Iman. So let's move to Khan's opening speech. Grace, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Throughout history, people have been fascinated with human-animal hybrids, or chimeras. Greek mythology alone boasts of numerous examples: the Minotaur, half-man, half-bull, harpies, or bird-woman, and the centaur, a combination of a man and a horse. All these creatures seem the stuff of silly dreams and wild fantasies. However, the possibility of a human-animal hybrid is becoming scarily real with today's advancing technology. Human-animal hybrids should be avoided because they undermine species integrity and human identity, further complicate legal issues, and call for the controversial destruction of human embryos. Any species capable of rational and moral thought should not have its biological boundaries blurred with a species incapable. According to Dietmar Huber, a faculty member at the University of Ethics in Leibniz, human-animal hybrids may have moral status due to their species membership and at the same time undermine species integrity due to their mixed setup. It is hard to know what actions are morally justifiable against hybrids since they do maintain human characteristics. They should not be created because ethical treatment of them cannot be guaranteed after their creation. Furthermore, legal definitions are often limited in scope and cannot cover all situations. It's difficult to draw a line between what is ethical and what is not ethical in a law, often because laws are often playing catch-up with current affairs. Unclear legal definitions, however, leave loopholes in which less ethical experiments are able to occur. According to Marta Shabazi, a biologist in embryo development at Cambridge University, current legal frameworks don't pay attention to how humanized an organism is, and that an organism with 80% human cells is vastly different than an organism with 5%. This proves a difficult situation because a poorly defined law could be easily misinterpreted, hard to implement, and cause confusion and controversy. Harvesting of stem cells to develop human-animal hybrids requires for the controversial destruction of embryos. This is controversial because an embryo can become a human baby if implemented into a fetus. According to analysis by the University of California, San Francisco, for those that view an embryo as essentially a human baby, taking a blastocyst and removing the inner cell mass to derive an embryonic stem cell line is tantamount to murder. This causes further complications because research would not be well supported in areas that hold these beliefs, and research that is not well supported would not be well funded. Research that isn't well funded has a higher capacity for mistakes and encourages researchers to take ethical shortcuts. In conclusion, human-animal hybrids should not be treated because they undermine species integrity and human identity, as well as further complicate legal definitions and call for the controversial destruction of human embryos. Without great support from the general public, research will be of less quality because they will be less funded. Furthermore, patients receiving organs from these means, or even those donating their own stem cells for this purpose, may be ostracized by their communities. In Greek mythology, the original chimera, a combination of a lion, a goat, and a snake, was viewed as an omen for disaster. Based on current affairs, these human-animal chimeras will prove to live up to that same legacy. That is why I urge you to vote for Khan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace. So I would now like to invite Chloe to question Grace's opening speech. Chloe, the floor is yours.
So Grace, do you believe that it is important to save lives?
That is definitely a belief I hold.
And you said it's very difficult to put in place legal definitions and to pass laws and have a framework for human animal chimeras, but is it possible?
Of course, it's possible, but like I said, it's very difficult and therefore will take an extensive amount of time. Within that time frame, many unethical experiments may occur. For example, in China, there was a case where a researcher actually edited the genes of a human baby. The purpose was, I have multiple sources from news articles, including science.org, and the researcher, John Kin, he edited the genes of a human baby in order to prevent that baby from contracting HIV. However, these actions were deemed very unethical by the Chinese government. Obviously, he's jailed now, but the fact is, since this is a germline edit, the consequences of his actions will be faced in all future generations of that child. And that's why, even with the long period of time required for developing these complicated legal definitions, many unethical experiments may occur.
Okay. Do you have a source for what you said about the public not being supportive of human-animal chimeras?
No, I do not have a direct source for that, but many cultures across the world, their religious beliefs and cultural beliefs do not align with those of stem cell research.
And do you have a source for that?
No.
And then can you provide an example of a religion that does not support human-animal chimeras? Or that would restrict it?
No.
Okay, that is it for my process.
Thank you very much. So, dear parents, we just finalized the first part of the debate. This is where students present their opening speeches. So they introduce their their points and their side to other side, and they question each other. And now we will be hearing refutation speeches. So this is a part of the debate where students use counter arguments, supporting materials to explain that their opponent's arguments were weak or do not stand. So let us first hear pro speaker, Chloe again, refuting con arguments, and then we will be hearing Eamon refuting pro arguments. So Chloe, 3 minutes for your refutation speech.
In my opponent's first argument, she stated that human-animal chimeras undermine human identity and species integrity and raise questions about a chimera's moral status. According to the researchers at the University Hospital of Montpellier, it is our brain that makes us human. So unless a hybrid has a human-like consciousness or rationality, they will not be considered a human. And evidence shows that this would be very unlikely. Furthermore, there are many widely accepted medical techniques that we use today that are also allow the creation of human-animal chimeras, such as implanting the heart valves of pigs, cows, and horses in patients with cardiac valve dysfunction and extracting insulin from porcine pancreas routinely used by patients with diabetes. So why is it that a pig carrying a pancreas of human origin should be banned, whereas a human being with a mitral valve of porcine origin is a permissible chimera? Similarly, in my opponent's second argument about legal issues, saying that legal issues may arise if human-animal chimeras were to be created. However, these legal complications and processes are a result of all new inventions and innovations in the world. For example, the internet was invented in 1983 and has since boomed with popularity and became something humans cannot live without. But one major problem with it was the violation of privacy. And although there are many laws to protect online users' privacy, such as the Electronic Communications Privacy Act and the General Data Protection Regulation, 6 in 10 Americans believe that it is not possible to go through daily life without having their data collected. Yet, despite being aware of these potential hazards, many still use the internet because of that benefits exceed the risks. Similarly, human-animal hybrids do come with drawbacks, but their ultimate rewards, as stated in my arguments, including preserving lives, innovation, and human advancement, outweigh those cons. And my opponent also stated that it is difficult to establish definitions and framework and prevent loopholes, but that doesn't mean it is impossible and shouldn't be done, which my opponent agreed to. In addition, the International Society for Stem Cell Research issued new guidelines on the subject in May 2021, which are highly influential in the scientific community and heavily followed. And in March 2019, Japan lifted the country's ban on conducting human-animal chimeras, conducting research on human-animal chimeric embryos. And in the future, as human-animal hybrids become more researched, laws will quickly be implemented just as it is for every other new discovery. Regarding my opponent's third argument about harming human embryos to collect stem cells, according to Martin Pera, a professor and former program leader of Stem Cells Australia at the University of Melbourne, human pluripotent stem cells can be grown indefinitely in the laboratory. Even if stem cells were to be taken from a human embryo, it would be from donations, meaning that nobody is forcing people to give up their embryos, and it is entirely their own choice. And as a matter of fact, it is for a good cause. Additionally, in a national survey on human-animal chimeric embryo research, 83% of respondents can accept injection of human-induced pluripotent stem cells into genetically modified swine embryos. And then 71% can accept the production of a pig with a human pancreas. Therefore, the public actually does support this, so the funding and quality of research will not be affected at all. For these reasons, I urge you to vote for pro.
Thank you very much, Chloe. So that was a pro-refutation speech, and now we are moving to con-refutation speech. Eamon, the floor is yours.
What good speeches from Grace and Chloe just spoken. So now we're going to go into refutation. All right. Creating human-animal hybrids can be used for research purposes to allow people to learn more about the human body, diseases, and drugs. Using human-animal chimeras as a source for organ transplants has not been shown to work. Although human cells have been planted in animals, they have not been yielded useful results. Based on groundbreaking research at the University of California, Davis, the first ever creation of organisms that were part human and part large animal represents a huge and hopeful first step in the quest to grow human organs for transplant. But that goal remains far out of reach. The chimeras now contain just a tiny fraction of human cells, maybe 1 in 100,000, leaving the creators grappling to find ways to boost the proportion of human cells in their chimeras to useful levels. Therefore, human-animal chimeras may not even be viable resources for organ harvesting. In Chloe's second argument, she states that using human-animal chimeras for drug testing is more effective and accurate. Therefore, there are more efficient ways to do that. Because, in addition to being costly, time-consuming, and ethically questionable, data from animals frequently fail to predict results obtained in human clinical trials. According to the Nature Review Genetics article published in March of 2022, organ-on-a-chip microfluidic culture devices represent one of the recent successes in the search for vitro human micropsychological systems that can recapitulate organ level and even organism level functions. By coupling 2 or more organ chips, human body on chip, multi-organ systems can be created that mimic whole body psychology as well as drug distribution and disposition. In Chloe's third argument, she states that creating human-animal hybrids can be used for research purposes to allow people to learn more about the human body, diseases, and drugs. However, AI is more efficient without raising multiple ethical and legal concerns. At the moment, AI has successfully been used to detect sepsis and provide information about hypertension. According to Cleveland Clinic, innovations from 2022, using AI algorithms can detect several key sepsis risk factors in real time by monitoring patients' electronic medical records as physicians input information. By using AI instead of controversial human-animal hybrids, we will be able to answer all the questions in a timely and ethical manner. Dear Judge, I have proved to you that there are better, more ethical, and more recent innovations from resolving organ transplant, drug testing, and prediction problems. That's why I vote for Khan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Eamon. So, dear parents, you've heard 2 refutation speeches, and as if you could follow, they actually refuted each of their opponent's arguments, and that was necessary in order for their opponent's argument not to stand anymore. But now your judge is still not convinced who to vote for. So in order to convince their judge, students will now present their closing speeches. And the closing speech is the final part of the debate, final phase, where they, first of all, use so-called meta-analysis. So they analyze what happened in this debate, but they analyze that from the angle of so-called biased judge. So they will be advocating for themselves and explain to their judge why they are winning this debate. And then the second part of this closing speech is about so-called impact calculus, or weighing the values that were implemented and fostered throughout this debate. So let us hear their final speeches, the so-called closing speeches, and the first one to present will be Chloe. And then after that, we will be hearing Grace. Chloe, the floor is yours.
If human-animal chimeras are implemented, many lives will be saved, and that someday might directly affect you or your loved ones. Dear Judge, I won today's debate because I successfully refuted my opponent's first argument by showing that it is highly unlikely for a human-animal chimera to undermine a human's identity, as they will not have the human-like consciousness. And there are also many already accepted human-animal chimeras in today's society. I successfully refuted my opponent's second argument about legal issues by having my opponent admit that it is possible that for laws to be passed to regulate human-animal chimera research, and there are already guidelines presented to protect the rights of animals and to regulate the research. And I successfully refuted my opponent's third argument about the public not supporting this research, because I provided a source to back up my data, where saying that the public actually does support this type of research, and Grace failed to do that. So I successfully refuted that argument. And although my opponent tried to refute my argument, my first argument, it still stands because there are many successful examples that have been performed, such as a pig heart transplant, a pig kidney transplant, and with more research, there will definitely be more transplants in the future. And my opponent tried to refute my second argument. However, it still stands because I provided evidence from Stanford University that shows that chimeric animals can accurately predict human drug metabolism and drug-to-drug interaction. And my opponent tried to refute my third argument. However, it still stands, as my opponent was talking about how AI can detect certain diseases or health risks, whereas in my argument, I was talking about using human-animal chimerics to study diseases and to potentially create treatments for these diseases. Additionally, I win on impacts, as even in my opponent stated, saving lives is very important. And on top of that, also innovation and human advancement are also very critical. So judges, if you believe that saving lives, innovation, and human advancement are important, I strongly urge you to vote for Pro. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chloe. So now I would like to invite Grace to deliver Khan's closing speech. Grace, the floor is yours.
Wait, actually, I like to write. Okay. Dear Judge, I won this debate because my opponent's main claim about organ transplantation is based on pure hypotheticals. The fact is, there has not been one case of a successful transplant from a human-animal hybrid to a human, despite what my opponent may tell you. This is because there are certain frameworks in place right now that call for the destruction of the human-animal hybrid after a certain number of days. Researchers at UC Davis even admitted that the goal of growing human organs is far out of reach. Since I win the debate because the main goal of human-animal hybrids for organ transplantation cannot even be shown to be a viable possibility. Judge, you have also just heard my opponent claim to have refuted my three main points. She tried to bring in examples of acceptable chimeras, humans that have received animal organs. However, I already addressed this in my opening statement. Marta Shabazi, a biologist at Cambridge University, stated that an organism with 80% human cells was vastly different from one with 5%. Next, she claims to have refuted my claim about a legal framework, as she got me to admit that it was indeed possible to establish a legal definition. However, she forgets to acknowledge the fact that I back this up. With a long period of time following legal framework development, there's room for less ethical experiments to occur, like the one I mentioned in China with the researcher and the infant gene editing. Lastly, my opponent's statistics about those who support human-animal hybrids only covers the scope of the United States. It does not cover the scope of other countries in the world that may have different cultural beliefs. Dear Judge, in my counterclaim, I have proved to you that there are better, more ethical, and more promising innovations for resolving organ transplantation, drug testing, and prediction problems. Meanwhile, my opponent's main claim about organ transplantation has not even been shown to have a possibility of working. That is why I urge you to vote for Khan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Grace. So, dear parents, I sincerely hope you enjoyed this debate, and I'm sure that it triggered so many questions. So I would like to encourage you to continue debate with your children after this showcase. So let us now close this ceremony. Once again, I would like to thank Eamon, Chloe, and Grace for giving their best and to learn and to present, to improve themselves. I will send the final assessments via email during this weekend, but if you have any questions about your child's progress or about the programs that we offer throughout the year, this is the phone number and the email that you can use to learn more about their progress and the programs. Thank you once again for trusting me with your children, and I wish you a great weekend. And dear students, you deserve to rest and enjoy the days in front of you. And of course, I wish you all great summer. Thank you once again. Bye-bye. Thank you once again. This is still official, but I would like to thank you in an unofficial way. It was a great pleasure working with you, and I'm really proud of your achievements. Have a lovely summer. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Nice